Hello, 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 and welcome. Now, in today's interview, I'm going to be talking about how to find your personal style with none other than my amazing friend, Clarissa Grace, who is a personal stylist and also a personal brand strategist over at wakingupinparis.com, where she basically helps female entrepreneurs to find their dazzling core of confidence, transform themselves through the power of personal style, and also magnetize dream clients. And before I continue, just in case we haven't met before, perhaps, or this is our first time kind of bumping into each other on the interwebs, let me just quickly introduce myself, all right? So, my name is Nina Dafe, and I am the founder and the editor of the Far Above Rubies collection.com, where I basically help Christian women to know their worth, their power, and their purpose as the wonderful women of God that He created them to be. And that's obviously so they can speak up, step out, and shine as those wonderful women of God, right? So if that's, something that sounds right up your street, like your cup of tea, then definitely consider subscribing, all right? And you also want to stay tuned because Clarissa shares such a great wealth of wisdom on our subject. She talks about how to develop your personal style, and very much like outside of the traditional sort of beauty or industry standards that we're used to being bombarded with. She also talks about how to dress your way to success, especially as a female entrepreneur, and also the common myths and misconceptions about personal styling and how we can avoid them, and much more. All right, so before we kind of get into all of that great stuff, all the meat and potatoes, I'm gonna also do an introduction to Clarissa, and then we'll get straight into the interview, okay? I promise. So, Clarissa Grace is a personal style and personal brand strategist, as well as the founder of Waking Up in Paris, where she helps female entrepreneurs find their dazzling core of confidence, transform themselves through the power of personal style, and magnetize dream clients. Clarissa has been professionally trained in fashion design, costume design, and haute couture through the Paris American Academy. She's been splashed on the pages of Vogue, Cosmopolitan, and Women's Day, and also dressed some of Australia's most magnificent stars. After the suicide of her father and the death of her third son, she experienced intimately the way grief can create a wardrobe of its own. But after a long season of sadness, Clarissa made the decision to stop dressing the way she felt and start dressing the way she wanted to feel and like the woman she wanted to become. By bringing beauty back into her wardrobe, she was delightfully surprised that it not only transformed her style, but also her mind, her heart, her business, and her life. Okay, and so without any further ado, we are going to go straight into the interview. Enjoy. Hey, Clarissa, how you doing?
Hello, my beautiful. I am so excited to talk to you.
Like, honestly, like, I think, well, first of all, since like you first said yes, but especially this week, like a little kid.
It's my favorite part of the week that I get to talk to Nina.
Right. So before we get into all of that, as you know, I've kind of already introduced you, but I'm sure everyone can see the love between us. This has been a long time coming, honestly.
Yeah.
Just let people know just who you are and all the wonderful things that you do.
Oh, you are so divine. Well, my name is Clarissa Grace, and I have a site called Waking Up in Paris, where I help female entrepreneurs embrace their bodies, believe in their beauty, and redefine what beauty means to them, and then transform themselves through the power of personal style. So I'm a personal stylist, but I'm also a personal brand strategist. So I help women in business or people that are, women leaders that need to be seen, that want to be able to express their heart and their message through the way that they dress.
I love
and through the way that they express themselves. So that, it's the story they want to tell, and that we're expressing that visually through the way that they dress. So, yeah.
Amazing. And how did you kind of end up going down that route? Like, how does one kind of, decide they're going to do like personal styling and helping
Oh
female
my
leaders?
gosh. Well, that's a long story because I'm 40.
And you don't look a day
I was actually a dancer. So, like, as I was growing up, all I wanted to do was to be a dancer.
Yeah.
And I started like dancing semi-professionally, like around 14, 15, like around that time. But then I fractured my back at 17.
Oh, wow.
And so that kind of put a huge spanner in the works for me, because that was like, honestly, I just didn't even consider any other option.
Wow, wow.
But then, like, obviously I had to start thinking about what I'm going to do with my life, and I was very creative. So that's when I sort of started toying with the idea of going into costume design or set design or something like that.
Yeah.
So I applied for a place called NIDA, which is in Australia, which is where all our Australian famous actors go for film. Yeah. And they wouldn't let me in. They totally rejected me, but they said, come back when you're 21. So again, I'm like, 21? Like, I still had, years to kill. So that's when I ended up going to fashion school. They said, look, just go to fashion school, get your, just get the ball rolling, and then we'd love you to come back when you're 21. So that's pretty much what I did. I worked in film and costume for a little bit. I just struggled. I struggled with the lifestyle of that. And then I had girlfriends asking me to make their wedding gowns. And then I kind of fell into the bridal industry, which at the time just felt so phenomenally perfect for me. It was definitely a way that I felt like I could mix my fashion industry experience and my couture experience and my costume experience, but it was also a way that I felt like I could serve God, and serve his women and just love them and create fairy tales for them. And so it was just really beautiful for me. So I did that for 15 years. I had my label, so that was called Clarissa Grace Couture. And we were just at a time where we were kind of about to explode, actually. Like, I was getting orders from all over the world, so Japan and London and, LA, like I was getting orders everywhere. And I created this big new collection, and we were just about to, lease new workrooms and new showrooms in the city and this. And it was all kind of like the world was my oyster, everything was happening. Like, super exciting. And then my dad committed suicide, which was horrifically unexpected. And then my son died 2 weeks after that, which was again horrifically unexpected. So that kind of just, threw everything completely out the window. And I was just, had my life thrown upside down and kind of just stopped everything because I couldn't function. So that was a, horribly difficult and dark time. I had some fabulous staff at my shop, so they kind of just kept the shop ticking over. I pulled out all of the, out of all the leases and all of that, like, we put a halt to. And then after about a year, I remember being on the couch with my husband and I was just bawling my eyes out, and people are making orders left, right and center. I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't do it. Like, it was just too much pressure, and I felt like I hadn't had enough time to comprehend what had happened to me and what I'd lost. So I'm still trying to kind of run this business. And my husband just said to me, you don't have to do this, And that was it. That was it. Like, he just said, you don't have to do this. And I'm like, really? Don't I? When you're in something and you don't even know that you've got a choice about it.
Yes.
And like, I honestly felt this tangible weight just lifted out of my body in that moment. and that was it. Like, that was just the decision, and we decided to close the store down, so that's what we did. We held on to obviously all the intellectual property and all the designs and my label and all of that, thinking that I could open it at some point again if I wanted to. But I didn't. So I had my little princess, and all I wanted to do was be at home with her. I did not want to work. So I just had a beautiful, probably 4 years, just, you know, being with her, just enjoying my boys. I've got 2 older boys. But then she went to preschool, and that stage I started feeling like I wanted something again. So that's when I started feeling ready to consider pursuing what I was going to do. Because I'm not, like, I'm definitely somebody that wants to be doing, you know, and having impact in people's lives and making a difference and using my creativity. So I sort of started toying loosely with ideas. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I ended up going to art school for a year. Again, no idea what I wanted to do with that, but I kind of just wanted to have fun and start exploring
the creativity again.
Yeah, and that was really good for me in the sense that I achieved very highly, very quickly. So that was just really good. I think when you've been out of the game for so long, like, you're not feeling awesome about yourself, about your own confidence, your own ability. So, you know, as much as I appreciated that time, I was definitely ready to do something. So anyway, so I was doing art school, and then I got to the stage at art school where I'm like, this is really fun, but I don't feel like it's actually doing anything other than being fun. Other than being fun and like making things, which is awesome. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think just that business, like that business mind in me started getting really hungry. And so I started listening to business podcasts and and I started just going, you know what, I want to start a business again. Like, I'm ready. And so I did an online business course. I quit art school.
Oh, wow.
I did an online business course, and then I started just playing around with business ideas, and I had heaps of different business ideas, you know, that touched on the costume design, and I did sort of look at maybe doing styling. My first instinct to that was, nah, it's too fickle. I'm not into the whole fashion scene. I'm not into the whole, you've got to keep up with the trends. Like, it's just not, like, I just don't care about that stuff. So I kind of put that one aside for a bit. Then I toyed with other ideas, but I kept going back to the personal style. And then I started interviewing women about the deeper stuff, you know, when it comes to clothes and getting dressed. And women were crying, and women were brokenhearted, and they broke my heart in the process, you know, because it made me realize how hurt we are when it comes to our beauty and when it comes to our bodies, and with that feeling that we're never ever going to be enough because we don't look like, you know, that model or that superstar or that Victoria's Secret, you know, like, it just, like, we just never feel like we can live up to what we're told is beauty. And so I fell very, very hard in love with that process, with being able to go deep inside to a woman's heart and be able to pull all the beauty out of her heart, and the message that that she has for the world and for her life, and be able to turn that into something, you know, visual and tangible that can reflect those things. That it's not about reflecting back what we're seeing in the media or what we're seeing in the runways or on Instagram. It's about reflecting from the inside out, not the other way. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the long version.
I love it though, because like there were so many nuggets in that. I think the first thing was for me when you said that you saw even like, you know, what you were doing with like your bridal line, like that you even saw as like serving God. And I know that for people who are actually quite traditional and fundamental, sometimes, you know, when we think about, you know, serving God, we only see it as we're going into ministry or being, you know, like a missionary or something like that. But, you know
what? I was actually, sorry to interrupt you, but I was actually raised, so my mum was raised by missionary parents.
Interesting.
So he was actually missionary in China. He was imprisoned in China.
Wow.
So my mum had that upbringing.
Right.
And so I think I'd had it very ingrained in me what mission looks like, what serving God looks like. And I really deeply struggled with feeling like I was enough to God because it wasn't my nature. It's not who God's made me to be that person.
Right.
And so I really battled, like, you know, as you're growing up and you're trying to find your feet, and I was this creative, out there young girl who wanted to be on the stage and wanted to, you know, design this and that. And none of those things fit into that mold of what a Christian
is supposed to look like. Yeah.
Supposed to look like.
Absolutely.
And so I always felt guilty because, you know, I didn't fit that mold.
Yes.
But there was also something in me that was pushing out of that because I knew that that's who I was. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think I love that as well. I think that for anybody listening who maybe even has those same struggles or, you know, thinking like, you know, I want to serve God, but it must look this way. It absolutely doesn't. Like a lot of the times your mission, your vision, your purpose is actually tied in like your natural giftings, your natural personality, your natural talents. I have the same sort of thing where I think both kind of church-wise and culturally as well, you know, because me and my heritage is Nigerian, where, you know, women are supposed to be, you know, quiet and demure. And I'm just so not like I have a loud mouth. I speak my mind, you know.
Can you imagine how boring you would be if you were quiet? Oh my gosh.
or if we were all the same, for example.
Exactly.
I've never really understood how, you know, we serve such a creative God who has made rainbows and colours and all these different animals and such and such. And yet when it comes to being a Christian woman or man or whatever it is, we put ourselves in boxes. I've never understood it. You know? But so I think that really stood out to me. And I think also just even what you were saying about just giving yourself, you know, the time to grieve and then the time to kind of resurface again in your creativity and actually find your way. And I don't know, I think as much as, you know, wellness, wholesomeness, mental health, all of those sort of things, you know, they're coming more to the forefront now. But I still feel that we do live in a society where people, even sorry, I started laughing because the Britishness, you know, the stiff up a lip and all that. You know, like I think that people are still a bit like that, where you know, okay, fine, you know, you're okay to kind of grieve and cry or be sad or whatever it is for, you know, a short while, but then you must get over it and just join in life again. And so your husband just giving you the grace to even say, you don't need to do this. I think it's such I can see why that was such a huge breakthrough for you.
Like to be given permission, you know?
Right.
And that was just, I mean, it was for 3 years. So 3 years I had, and that first year was just a black mess, you know? Like it was just horrific. The second year was a little grey. The third year, the colours started coming back, you know? And like obviously the wounding and the pain of that experience is still very real and tangible to me. But my life is so colourful and beautiful, you know? And I'm so grateful that I had that time to sit in the darkness. As horrible as that was, I'm grateful that I had that time.
Interesting.
Mm.
What is it in terms of like the gratitude, I guess, like what is it in terms of being able to sit in the darkness and coming out of the other side that I guess you're grateful for?
Yeah, I think for that first year while I was still running my business, it was kind of just like this thing going on around me that I actually wasn't engaged in. So it was kind of like I didn't exist really in
Yeah.
that, because I was just functioning and doing the mechanics of it.
Kind of autopilot.
That's what I thought I had to do.
Right.
But I think then that year after we sold the business, I didn't have to be or do anything, you know. Whereas before that, I even had to get myself dressed and look a particular way and go to the shop and you know, be the leader of that company and you know, all of that. But then all of a sudden I didn't. I could just stay in bed all day, sort of feed my kids toast and Vegemite every night.
But the most important thing is that they were fed.
Yeah, but I think if you know, for me, I think I allowed myself to feel that and to exist in the darkness. And I remember I just had this one image in my mind of myself in God's hand. You know, that was just a time where I did not talk to God. I did not connect with God. I had nothing to say to him, but I knew I was sitting in his hand. And that's all I needed. Like I just sat in the darkness in his hand, you know, waiting for a time where I could stand up.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I love that honesty as well, because I've said that all the time. You know, there are actually times where I do not want to talk to God, and I've said it to him. I don't want to talk to you at the moment. I'm not very happy with you. I know there are some people who might go, but it's true.
Right? We had nothing to say.
Right. But I think, to be honest with you, that's just true, authentic relationship, because even when you look at your human relationships as well, that is what we're like with each other. We're real, you know. We do get, you know, angry or annoyed or whatever the case is, and I think you know, that's just being real. It's taking off that religious hat, I think. Sometimes we're taught, oh, you know, you're not supposed to question God, you know, he's sovereign, so we're just supposed to. But actually, there are so many scriptures where it says, come, let us reason. Actually, Jesus questioned him, my God, why have you forsaken me? Like, you know, I think we serve a God who is so into relationship that actually he doesn't mind that. And that, you know, that's in the nature of my relationship with him anyway. So,
that is so true, honey. And do you know what? I think I was at the point in my faith where I knew that. Where I knew that. And that's another thing I'm really grateful for, actually, is that I knew it was okay for me. And I don't even know if I felt angry at him at that stage. And I definitely have, you know, after, but at that stage, I just felt nothing, like nothing. But I knew that he was okay with that. Like I knew that. So I guess I had enough maturity at that stage. To be sure of that. So
I love that. That's so amazing. And so fast forwarding, you got into like the personal styling. You said that you interviewed ladies and everything like that. And you've already kind of touched on it a little bit by talking about, I guess, like the heartbreak and, you know, a lot of the things, I guess, that women can feel sometimes in styling themselves and dressing themselves. But I mean, what is it, I guess, do you feel that makes personal style, like, I guess, so important to women, I guess, in general, but then also I know you specialize with entrepreneurs as well, so
I think for women, we've been created to want to express and surround ourselves with beauty. So we've been created to want to beautify our homes. You know, and create environments for our families or the people that we love and care for. It's in our nature. It's the way that we've been created. Yet, I think we've also been taught by our society that we're never going to be enough in that.
Absolutely.
And so I think we can either rebel, you know, and put that aside and go, I don't need that. I don't need, you know, to feel beautiful. I don't need to have beauty around, like, it doesn't matter. It's just fickle, you know, like all those things that I've heard, I know in, you know, throughout my life, that's materialistic and blah, 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 and makes you feel guilty. Or we've got a really confused view of what beauty actually is. And so we're looking, you know, at Victoria's Secrets. We're looking, you know, at all the labels to define what beauty is for us.
Right, and then kind of trying to fall in line with that.
Exactly, because they're teaching us what is beautiful. They're bombarding us with what is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And what is beautiful, the expression of beauty to them is whatever is going to get our money out of our pockets and give it to them, you know, like they actually don't care about anything except for that. Like, that is their goal. You know, for us to spend stupid amounts of money on being enough, on our dissatisfaction with ourselves, that the more dissatisfied we are with ourselves, the more money we're going to spend, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're the two reactions in general. I'm generalizing. But I guess my heart is to strip all of that back, you know, whether it's the, you know, turning your back against beauty, or whether it's turning forward to society or the media to define beauty for you. I want to strip both of those things away. And I teach a woman to look right inside of the beauty that's inside of her, you know, and then I pull that out. And that's my little expertise. Like, I cannot even tell you how much I love that process of pulling those things out that a woman genuinely finds beautiful, you know, like, I don't know, like, it might be memories from her childhood of the wallpaper on her room, or it might be a particular dress that her grandma made for her where the colour, like, just made her so happy. You know, it might be some flowers that her first boyfriend gave her, like, whatever it is. You know, the little moments across her life, there are hints of what is truly, truly beautiful to her. But she's forgotten those. You know, we've forgotten those. We've forgotten what is beautiful to us because we're being told what's beautiful to us.
Right.
So I work with women through that process to uncover all of that stuff, and then to create visual boards and inspiration around those things. And then that becomes the foundation of their personal style. You know, it's reflecting their beauty. It's reflecting what has always been inside of them, but they've never had the opportunity to actually dig deep into that and pull that art out unashamedly. You know, unashamedly. That is something they are proud of, and it's something that they value and honor in themselves, because it's exactly who they are. It's exactly who they are.
That's the thing. I think that authenticity as well, that ability to sometimes kind of unashamedly be ourselves, you know. Like, I know, for example, that I, you know, in the past, I think I'm getting better with it now, but it took a lot of pushing, if that makes sense. But you know, just seeing something and not immediately going, oh no, that's too bright, or oh, but where would I wear that, or oh no, you know, I couldn't, you know, those sorts of things.
All the rules are going in your mind. All the rules are being taught that you have to dress your shape and you have to wear a particular colour for a particular skin type. And none of this is wrapped around the idea that yellow is your favourite colour in the world, and when you wear it, you feel happy and you feel good about yourself. Yes. You don't care if yellow suits your skin colour or not, which it does, by the way.
Thank you.
But why would you not wear yellow? Because the fashion police tell you that yellow isn't your best colour, when yellow makes you out of this world happy, and it makes you feel strong and powerful and radiant. You know, so I want to teach women to scrap all that. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about dressing your shape. What matters is that what you are adorning your body in makes you feel lovely and makes you feel valuable and happy, and you know, it's reflecting you, and no magazine or, you know, fashion police can define that for you.
Absolutely.
Like you have to define that for you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I remember, having a conversation with Jennifer Spalding. And she talks a lot about confidence for women and things like that. And she was talking about the fact that, we as women, when we feel confident and when we feel beautiful, especially like, with leadership and things like that, you're actually more likely to hit your goals and to actually, take the action needed to go towards the things that you want, because you're then in like the positive headspace and mindset to do it. And obviously, if you don't feel that way, then that then has the negative repercussions for everything else as well. Would you agree?
Exactly, I absolutely agree. Yeah. And you know what? Even just to use me as an example, when I said to you, like, the first year was black, the second year was grey, and the third year started, I started getting colour into my work. And I remember it was that period of time, like around the grey years, where I decided on what I wanted my external world to be through the way that I dressed. So I have never, ever in my whole life been a black wearer. And I'm not saying that black is wrong. Like, black can be really beautiful and sophisticated. But for me, I was not a black wearer. I was white and light and fresh and pastel-y and pretty. Like, that's who I am.
Yes.
And then when everything like fell to pieces, I actually remember going out to the shops and buying black because that's how I felt, like, and it wasn't that I wanted to say anything, like I wasn't making any kind of statement. It's just how I felt. Like, I didn't want to wear pretty clothes. I didn't want to wear gorgeous earrings or, and so anyway, my wardrobe just became black. But then there came to a point in time where I realized that I'm actually making a decision about what my external world looks like, and the way people treat me. And I can honestly tell you that I wanted to be invisible, and I became invisible. Wow. And that was my choice. Wow. You know what I mean?
I do.
But then there came a point where I was like, I want to change this. Like, I want to feel different. I don't want to feel like the grieving, broken, hopeless, excuse me, woman anymore. Yeah. I want to start feeling like myself again. Sure. And that's when I started pulling out, some of my, I wouldn't say colourful pieces, but less dark pieces. And that was a process. Like, I started, kind of dipping my toe into style again and fashion, going shopping a little bit. And it was a slow process, but that was a process of me making a choice over my destiny. It's the process of going, I'm actually going to live. I'm going to become myself again. I'm going to express my heart. I'm going to dress in a way that I want to feel, even if I don't feel it right now.
Yes.
I'm ready to make the choice that I want to feel myself.
Absolutely.
And I want to feel like I'm going to become a successful woman again. And I want to feel like I'm going to have impact in the world. Even though I feel like crap right now.
Yeah. I can identify with that as well, because that's something that I do. Like, when I'm feeling down, or like, just when life is like really getting on top of me, I do become quite, because it's funny, because like, I know when I was younger, especially like, sort of teens, even early 20s, to be honest, like I wasn't very secure, and I didn't necessarily like myself very much. And so I did that. I did wear a lot of dark colours, a lot of black. I was trying to hide, and it's funny that you say, I feel like we've kind of almost had similar journeys, that in a sense of when I was becoming more myself and more aware of what I actually did like, and starting to step out, is, now I'm in yellow and Thank you. But yeah, even makeup was a thing. I remember, like, literally, I used to, like, when I was little, I used to love playing in my mum's makeup and things like that.
Yes.
But then as I became a teenager, I remember having thoughts like, well, kind of, who are you to wear this color, or, you know, to go out like this, or, you know, so it is very interesting. I guess how much of our minds and how we're feeling, we do reflect. And so now when I'm, you know, like I said, feeling down on any of those sort of things, because I know where I've come from, and I know that actually I do have that tendency sometimes to maybe hide through my clothes or whatever. Like I will actually make more of a concerted effort to actually dress well, or to dress up, because I know it will make
doesn't it make such a huge difference?
Absolutely,
you know, to the way that you step into your day. It just makes so much difference. And there's a lot of psychological studies actually around this, and the way clothes impact, you know, the outcome of your day or the outcome of your week or whatever it is. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think anything like psychological, anything that kind of helps us to understand us better, you know, is always really interesting. But it's interesting how also something like clothes, you know, makeup, you know, all of those sorts of things that actually sometimes we can dismiss as, you know, frivolous, actually does impact, you know, even down to
absolutely.
And I think one of the other things I was thinking about as well as you were talking was, you know, kind of body positivity and things. Because I think apart from our moods and how we're feeling, another thing that can maybe impact, you know, how we dress and how we show up in the world as women can also, you know, like how we feel about our bodies, you know, once again compared to like the messaging that we're always bombarded with. So I mean, do you have, I guess, any kind of tips and tricks, you know, for the woman who, you know, doesn't feel great about her body or herself, and so is not so confident about styling herself?
Yes. I guess the first thing that I would say is I get the question all the time. You know, I'm 54 and I'm overweight. Can I still find my personal style? Can I still figure out what my personal brand is? And the fact that people are asking me that over and over again kind of devastates me. It says to me that women have been told that if they're not a particular size, you know, if they're not a size 8 in Australia, I'm not sure what your sizes are, and you know, if they're not under the age of 28, that they're invisible. You know, that women think, oh, maybe it's not for me.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, rubbish. Like every woman is deserving of feeling beautiful. I don't care if you're 99 and a half, you know? Every woman deserves to be seen and to be beautiful and to be heard for the message, you know, that people are visually seeing from her. And like, I actually think it's incredibly important that a woman steps into that, you know, that's actually an action that she takes, that she says no to feeling invisible and to feeling small and to feeling like, you know, oh, fashion isn't for her, or style isn't for her, or beauty isn't for her, whatever it is. No, like, no, it is for you. It's for every woman. And I guess one of the practical things that I love my women to do is to be very, very careful and selective about what they allow into their world, particularly through social media. So what, like, I will just grab a phone of one of my girlfriends and scroll through Facebook and see what she's seeing, you know, and most of the time she's seeing things that are degrading, and she's seeing things that make her feel bad, you know. And I'm not saying that that, you know, perfect models or the before and after photos, that they're not wonderful things. Like, they are wonderful things in their own right. But you've got to take a check-in. How is this making me feel? If you're seeing a before and after photo that makes you feel bad, like, don't follow things like that. Remove that.
Absolutely.
You know, like remove the things that make you feel bad about who you are. It's not a rejection of them, it's a protection of you. You know? And I think that we feed ourselves things that make us feel bad about ourselves and things that make us feel horrible and that we're not worthy. No, like selectively look for women and other leaders and influencers, or just, you know, girls up the street that encourage you. Like, you know, be deliberate about that. Be deliberate about putting into your world things that encourage you and inspire you and give you hope and make you feel beautiful, because beauty isn't meant to make you feel bad. That's not how God designed beauty. God designed beauty to bless you and to honor you and to uplift you and inspire you. And so if you've got these feeds of things that aren't doing that, then you're setting yourself up for hurt, you know?
I love what you just said there, actually, that beauty is not actually meant to make you feel bad. I think maybe even until you said that, I'd never really thought about the fact that actually, for the most part, beauty, at least as it pertains to people, you know, like you think about beauty in terms of, you know, decor or landscape, but definitely as it pertains to people, it's always presented quite negatively. It's always, this is the standard, this is how it's supposed to be, and therefore if you're not that, then actually you're not beautiful. And actually, yes, there is then therefore this connotation of actually beauty being this really horrible thing, actually. Not objective, not nice, but almost accusatory.
And women are torturing themselves over it, and women are broken over it because they deeply, I believe that every woman desires it so deeply, whether they admit it or not.
Absolutely.
That's what they want. But they can't reach it. You know, they can't reach it the way the world is right now. You know, with eating disorders and self-harm and all of this in the name of beauty. Absolutely. And what the world has created to, you know, to be the definition of beauty. It's just devastating. It's devastating because of the images that they're seeing over and over and over. And a lot of those images we can't control. No. But a lot of them we can.
Yes.
Right? We can. We do have control over a lot of them. And there are beautiful women that are doing amazing things, you know, in trying to redefine beautiful.
Absolutely.
Follow those women.
Yes.
You know? Follow those women.
It's true. Like, even as you're talking, you know, I remember feeling that way because for me, like, I've always been big, you know, just when I was younger. And so obviously as a teenager, like that's tough. But it's also tough when actually sometimes it's also your family members who are saying hurtful things as well. Do you know what I
mean? That is absolutely horrible. Like, it really is. And it's so common too.
Yes, exactly.
Often the family members that are the first ones, you know, when you bad about yourselves, it's often the family members' voices that are in your ear.
Like, it's just reinforce it. Reinforcing it's funny. Like, I don't know, you know, like I said about me just kind of not being demure and always kind of being a loudmouth, very headstrong. And I just remember, you know, like, it was always, you know, you're very pretty for a big girl. If you just lost the weight, then blah, blah, blah. And I remember one day thinking about it and being like, but even if I did lose the weight, if I'm not doing it for me, then I'm always going to feel this way.
Wow.
So I remember kind of thinking to myself, if I don't find the beautiful in me now, I will never find it. And so I worked for a number of years on finding the beauty in me now, hence the reason I was able to then come out of the black clothes. And actually I went through a number of years where I wouldn't wear dresses. Now when I say that, people laugh because I'm always in them. Like, people are now shocked when they see trousers. Do you know what I mean? But like, that was a process, and it was literally years of unprogramming. It was going shopping with friends and letting them pick for me at times, actually, to kind of interrupt my thought patterns. You know, I think those sort of tips, I think are really, really important, because it's now actually that I'm in a place of just loving myself and being confident enough to wear all these things, that I'm now going, okay, well, that means you should look after yourself. So now it's about health. It's about, okay, yes, I will exercise and I will eat right because I care about me. But it's the agenda is not beauty. It's not about other people accepting me. It's actually about, like I said, just what I want to be able to live long, you know. So you know, let's look after myself. I think that's really important, that you need to, I'm thinking about Gladys, I've got her in my mind. She talks about acceptance, you know, like accepting everything as it is now, witithout judgment, without, you know, condemning it. And then taking the steps, just as you did, you know, towards seeing what it is that you do then want to reflect.
Exactly. And you know what, just on that, on acceptance, like that's such a core part of my teaching with women, that when it comes to our body, you know, we have seen a lot of this new body love movement, you know, popping up, which is amazing. But at the same time, I feel like acceptance is the right goal to begin with, you know, because body love is a very difficult, it's just hard for women to imagine actually loving their bodies. So it feels very far away. So for me, if I can just get them to acceptance, then the body love will come, but it's a process. And when it comes to acceptance, like I think the majority of women that come to me, when they look at themselves naked in a mirror, they are either, oh, I can't look at it. They're either in denial. I can't look at it. I'm not going to look at it. You know, like there are some women that have never looked at their bodies in the mirror.
Wow.
Many women. But then there are other women that have imaginary daggers, like shooting at their hips or shooting at their flabby arms or shooting at their saggy boobs or whatever it is, like just daggers, like hating on themselves. And so it's kind of like this one extreme or the other. But I want to teach them to look at their bodies in the mirror and to accept them, you know, and to be so grateful for them, that their bodies is what is allowing them to live in this world, to move about their day, to carry their babies. Like our bodies are a flipping miracle.
So true.
It does not matter if you weigh this much or that much. It doesn't matter.
Honestly.
Like everybody that exists on this earth is a miracle. It's phenomenal. So look, you know, I don't have the expectation that a woman will fall in love with her bodies in a couple of weeks' time. Like it takes time. But you can come to a place of acceptance relatively quickly by training your brain and being grateful, you know, for what God's given us in this. Like our bodies are amazing. You know? So I love that. I love that word acceptance, because I just feel like there's so much power when it comes to our bodies, just in accepting them. And you know what? Once you've got to a place of acceptance, then you can actually dress yourself in a way that makes you happy, rather than trying to hide. And you know, or trying to dress your shape because you've got to fix yourself. You know, like that's kind of the message, isn't it? That you've got to, you know, look a particular way. But no, like if you accept your body, then it's not about looking a particular way. It's about adorning yourself in things that make you feel beautiful.
Absolutely. So like I've heard you say a couple of times throughout this interview about you know, dressing your shape and like all of that sort of stuff. Like I can tell that that's like, I guess, like a common myth or popular belief that you do not like.
I do not like.
Are there any others? Like what other sort of common, you know, things like, you know, and if not, what should we do instead?
Oh yeah, look, I just feel with 99% of stylists, the dressing your shape is the first thing they say you need to have a great personal style. And I think it's complete rubbish. Like, it is rubbish. That doesn't even touch on the heart of a woman. It doesn't even touch on who she is or what she wants to achieve or the message she wants to put out in the world. You know, it makes me cranky. But at the same time, I understand that it can be used as a tool. Like, I get that. I'm a fashion designer. I understand that shapes and cuts can manipulate. And that's fantastic, but it's not the most important thing. It's a thing that kind of comes later on if you want to use that tool at your choice, not because you feel bad about yourself and you want to hide particular areas of your body, or you want to look 10 inches taller, or all of that. I don't like it. I don't feel like it honors us as women. I think it makes our bodies the most important thing when our bodies are not the most important thing. Our heart is the most important thing. And then the same thing with colours. Like, there's no fun in saying, going to a colour expert and her telling you the colours that you have to wear. Right. It's not fun.
Yeah.
That colour. It's not expressing who you are then, is it?
No, not at all. Yeah. So I think, like, with your messaging, then it all comes down to authenticity, basically. Yes. Like you said, like from the inside out rather than the outside in.
Exactly.
Love.
Exactly.
Even what you just said as well about our bodies are not the most important thing, which even then, like within the culture that we live in, just completely flips it, that just turns everything on its head, because as women, whether it's in fashion or even whether we're being objectified and sexualized, we're always kind of, the body is always like the focal point. So even you saying that, like, actually, no, it's not, why are we starting there,
Yeah. And don't you want people to see your heart first? Like, isn't that what you want to lead with in your life?
Yeah.
You want to lead with your body. You don't want your body to be the first thing or the last thing, depending on, like, women can over-sexualize themselves too, because that's the first thing they want people to see.
Absolutely.
So it can go both ways.
Yeah.
But, like, lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. Express your heart. And there is nothing wrong with your body. Your body is beautiful. It does not matter, what shape or size it is. It does not matter. It does not matter. You can feel beautiful today. Now, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to lose 10 kilos or wait, whatever. No, like, do this today. Give this gift to yourself.
It's true. And also, life's too short, like... Why, it's almost like, how sometimes you can have that, that bottle of wine that you're saving for a special occasion or whatever the case may be. Today is like, I had to tell myself off for that recently in terms of, saving outfits. No, this is too special to wear here. Wear it now. This is how you feel now. Like, like you said, reflect your heart. This is you. This is how you're feeling,
Yeah, absolutely.
And it almost kind of goes back to even the conversation that we were having before we even, started the interview of, like how we as women are not always taking care of ourselves, or showing the best self-care, even in terms of embracing beauty and things like that. Like, would you like to kind of talk about a little bit about that?
Because it's just the simple things, like even when I was coming out of my grief, I remember, and even before I touched clothes, even before clothes became a tool for me to pull me out of that, I started with small things. Like, I would buy myself a bunch of flowers once a week. That was just a really small gift that I could give to myself.
Sure.
Or, I'd have a beautiful candle. Like, it doesn't have to be these big, lavish things, but having a beautiful candle as you're cooking the dinner is just really lovely. And it's so small. It costs barely anything. It's simple as... But it can start small, and then you can build up to that. And I think we're so used to feeling selfish for doing something lovely for ourselves, But if we can do these beautiful things for ourselves, it makes us happy, and it makes us engaged with what we're doing, and it makes us present. And isn't that you know, aren't all those things who you want to be so that you can love and care for the people that in your life?
Absolutely.
You know, like if you're walking around in your sweats and your black clothes and, you know, the house stinks. Like it just doesn't make anybody feel good. It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't make your kids feel good. It doesn't make anybody feel good.
Absolutely. It's true. It's so, so
Giving
true.
to yourself is giving to the people around you. And I think we're a little bit messed up when it comes to that idea because we've been so indoctrinated, you know.
That's amazing. Giving to yourself.
And do you know what? I think there is so much healing when it comes to beauty. You know, like beauty can heal you. So if, you know, whatever is going on in your world, in your life, you move towards beauty, I promise you, it will help heal. Like whatever that expression is, and it could be through clothes. Or it could not be through clothes. It could be through painting your room a different color, or, you know, a new bedspread, or buying yourself flowers once a week. You know, those things pull you out of brokenness.
Amazing. And so, for example, if there is like a woman who like is a leader, just like the ladies that you serve, or, you know, is just looking more at actually showing more of herself in her clothes and the way that she kind of styles herself, you know, where I guess how could she begin? Like what could she do in order to kind of really, I guess, get her message across, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I have a new program that I'm about to launch. It's a group program that's called Brand Yourself Beautiful. So my message is that it is for female entrepreneurs, but really it's for any woman that wants to step into her destiny and be a leader. And in all honesty, we should all be leaders in our life. You know, like we are all leaders. We are all leading somebody. And every one of us has a message to tell. And that message is crucial. That message is so valuable. And so Brand Yourself Beautiful is about uncovering your unique personal style. But it's also about layering into that the message you want to share with the world and the value you want to offer. And so it's a process of teaching you, first of all, what is beautiful to you. Like deeply beautiful to you. I help them be able to express that visually. So we do we work a lot on Pinterest and find images, and we put storyboards together. And then again, like I said before, we layer into that. And what is the message that you're wanting to share with the world? And those two questions we bring together. Because we need to be able to communicate who we are, so that we are attracting the right kinds of people into our life and the people that we're called to serve and love and lead. So it's basically weaving those two things together so that you are expressing what is beautiful, but you are also expressing your message through the way that you dress. Now, like the personal style element of it, I love, because although I am focused on the clothes, it's actually not just an expression of the clothes. It's a universal expression of who you are. So it's kind of like I've been saying that once you've found your personal style, that is expressed in the way that you dress, but it's also expressed, in the way that you decorate your home, in the artwork you choose for your walls, in, the things that you're attracted to, in magazines or in photography or for your Instagram feed, like whatever it is universal across, all areas of your life, which is really an amazing experience and process for women to be able to look at this storyboard and go, wow, like that's me. Like I never knew that I could do that, And I'm like, I don't do that. Like I teach you how to do that, but it's so incredibly beautiful, to see these hearts of these beautiful women just become alive. Amazing. To become alive in in a visual way. And we're such visual people.
Yeah.
Well, you know. So basically I do that, and then I teach them how to shop and how to look for clothes that reflect what we've learned about their personal style. So we do a lot of experimenting around that. We do a lot of body work too, about what we talked about with accepting our bodies. So I have some beautiful exercises where I get them to journal about their bodies, where I get them looking in the mirror and teaching them how to accept their bodies. I get them to write a little love letter to their bodies and to apologize for the ways that they've hurt or thought negatively. So it's kind of like we just wipe the slate clean and we start again. And then we start dressing our bodies. Like, I don't even let them touch the clothes until they've come to that place of acceptance, so then we start dressing and experimenting and having fun, and it all of a sudden isn't this huge weight of, oh, I have no idea what to wear, and oh, I've got nothing, that fits me, and oh, like the weight is gone. It's not about all the rules anymore. It's just about them. It's just so beautiful. So we go through that process, and then at the end we pull our final storyboard together. So that is basically the one reflection that they have, that they can continue to edit and change, because style is evolving. It's always an evolving thing, although the foundation will remain the same. The elements will change a little bit as time goes, just depending on lifestyle or circumstance, or just as the years go by. But then we create this beautiful mood board for them at the end that they've always got. So that is basically like their roadmap for getting, and their visual reference to what they want their beautiful life to look like. How they want to express their beauty, through colours and shapes and moods, and it's just it's a really, really, really special process, and so life-changing for women.
It really sounds like it's very deep inner work,
it really is.
Hearing you speak about it, I love the idea that you spoke about, of journaling and actually writing a love letter to your body and actually apologizing for the ways that you've harmed it or hurt it, or I think that's so beautiful, honestly.
It really is beautiful. And you know what, there are tears. Sometimes there are tears. They're good tears, they're good tears. It's just it's like a reset, it's like it's just like eliminating the world and just reflecting on you. And it's just a really precious time, and it's such a gift that a woman can give herself, and once you've learnt that skill, you've got it forever. Like, you've got it, and we don't get taught this. We do not get taught this, and I wish we did. I wish we did. When we were much younger.
That's it, isn't it?
We've carried all this weight for so many years, this weight on our shoulders that we're not enough, and we are enough, and we're gorgeous.
Yes, we are, absolutely. So if ladies wanted to kind of find out more about this program, if they were interested, and also find out more about you, or those sorts of things, how could they do that?
Well, my website is www.wakingupinparis.com. Waking Up in Paris.
Love it. How did you come up with that name?
I want to wake up in Paris. So that's nice and easy. And then, I might just give you the link to the program. The program will start in the next couple of weeks. I think it's the 7th of May.
Of May, okay.
So I will give you that link, and then that will take them straight to a page that will just outline the whole program. It will have lots of testimonials of other women that have been through the process, and it will break the program down in weeks. So it's a 5-week program. I do it live, so it's like a live training every week where I will do the training, and then there'll be a question and answer opportunity at the end. So that's a really precious time too, because it means that whatever I'm teaching them becomes personal, that they can ask personal questions about whatever it is that they are needing help with to move forward, or whatever it is. So it's really exciting. I'm very, very excited. It's the first time I've done it as a group. Usually I do it as a one-on-one program.
Oh, wow.
And women pay thousands for that, you know? So so it's very exciting.
Yeah, no, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I can see also just how just healing and life changing it can, it can be, but also it will be for those who are going to put in the work and actually, go on this journey with you. So I want to thank you for even for actually, stepping into that gap and doing that, because as I said, as someone who, I went through periods where actually I didn't quite like myself, or was very self-conscious, was trying to hide, I, for all of those years, had to, I guess, literally work all of that stuff out myself. It just so happened I've had supportive people around me that I can kind of talk to, and then also like spiritual guidance and stuff. But it would have been amazing to have a Clarissa in my life, to literally hold me by the hand and take me through that time.
And you know what, it's one of my dreams to be able to create a program similar to this for young girls, like for young women. Process. I'm not there, but that's definitely my dream, to get to there, early.
It's true, because that's, I think, when it starts, that is, really, well, to be honest, like there are even studies that talk about the fact that actually we start to, as women and girls, have low confidence and low self-esteem, as early as, like primary school and secondary school, just starting.
And you're hearing eating disorders at that age? Horrific.
Honestly. Yeah.
And just to have women, that these young girls can look up to, and go, oh, she may not fit into that mold, but I respect her and I love what she's doing, and I think we all need to be that role model for young girls.
Absolutely. So true. And just before we end, did you have any other final words of encouragement or anything else that you wanted to share with the ladies at all?
I just think my heart would be, don't wait, that we all need this today. We all need this now. You don't need to be a particular way. You don't need to be a particular weight. You deserve to experience this beauty today. And that is my biggest heart for women, that you don't have to be anything. All you have to be is you. And the beauty exists in you. I promise, and it will come out of you and it will bless you so deeply, genuinely. And so I would love to have some of your ladies in the program. That would be such an honor for me. But you know what, if it's not the right time, like I said before, you can still do small things to bring beauty into your world. If that's just the tiniest thing, anything. Buy some new hand cream.
Honestly.
Money.
It's true.
Put some music, put some beautiful classical music on as you make your breakfast for the kids, to make your environment feel calm and lovely. Do whatever it is that feeds you, that feeds your soul, that makes you.
I love that advice. Oh, Clarissa, thank you so much. Honestly,
I love you, my Nina.
Oh, I love you too.
Such a joy.
Seriously, I'm so glad that we just actually were able to do this and everything. It was just such a lovely just conversation. I think anybody who gets to kind of listen in on it and all the wisdom that was shared is just truly going to be blessed, honestly. So
thank you, my beautiful. And thank you for the honor it is to be here. Honestly, I know this has been a long time coming. We got here. And
absolutely. Thank you.
Alrighty, my beautiful.
How amazing was that interview? I mean, if you were just as blown away as I was by all of Clarissa's kind of gems and pearls of wisdom, then definitely feel free to like this video. If there's anybody that you know would also enjoy it or needs to hear it, then share it with them as well. And I would absolutely love to hear what your biggest takeaways and aha moments were. So share those in the comments. As I say every single week, I am highly interactive and I will get back to you. I would love to continue this discussion with you. And if you would like to see more videos like this where I interview more amazing Christian women who are doing big things, or even just see, you know, some of my solo ones where I'm just kind of encouraging and speaking right into your heart, then I invite you also to subscribe. So press the subscribe button below and don't forget to hit the bell as well, because what that will do is notify you as soon as I have uploaded a video, so you can watch it straight away and not miss one. How cool is that, right? So until next time, my love, you enjoy your day and we will speak again soon, all right? Bye.